The end of week 9, and I am getting ready for a Spartan race, so I cannot have a meeting this week. I apologize. I do want to encourage all of you to make sure that when you take this progress check and the quiz, if there are any questions that you want help with, to please send me screenshots of those, and I will make videos for you individually. Usually when we're in this week anyways, it's a little bit hard to decide what to do because some students have done the progress check and the quiz and other students haven't, and I can't show students the questions. So what usually works best at the end of this week is for you to send me the questions you're working on, and I'll make you videos for what you had difficulty with as you finish the polynomials. And next week, when we get into week 10, we're going to move into rational functions, which sound really complicated, but really it's just a polynomial function divided by another polynomial function. And we get some really interesting behavior in the graph because we can't have zeros in the denominator, right? So we're going to see, like if I have something simple like 1 over x, well, x just can't be 0. And we get these things called asymptotes occurring. I hope you've seen this a little bit in Algebra 2. It's usually taught. And so we're going to look at all the different ways that we can get vertical asymptotes, horizontal asymptotes, slant behavior. We're going to see some interesting things with end behavior like we've talked about. So you're going to go into rational functions in week 10, and then at the week 10 Zoom meeting, we'll practice some of those together. All right, so what are you going to do for the rest of our class day with me, not with you? And what I want you to do is I'm going to show you in a second here 3 different word problems. You're welcome to reach out to a classmate to work on this in groups. I think most of you like to do things alone, but don't be shy. If you want to work with somebody, you absolutely can. And I want to use this graphic here a little bit about word problems because I know it's something that a lot of you say you struggle with. And I think maybe part of the problem is thinking that you should have a solution right away and that you might not have to try things. So let's look at this. And whenever we have a word problem, we want to define what we're being asked to solve, right? And then we kind of brainstorm, what do we kind of think might be our ways of solving it, right? Maybe you have more than one way where you think you might go with this problem. And so you pick one of those ways and you see, does it work? If it doesn't work, you go back to brainstorming, right? Or you think it's going to work, you implement it and you find it does work. So you're done, right? You go to 5. But maybe you pick something, you try it, you implement it, it doesn't work. All right, now where do I go back to? Do I have to redefine my problem? Do I have to go back to my brainstorming my ideas, right? And so I just want you to see that this might not be, a linear way where you do one thing and you get an answer and you're done. All right, so what are you going to do for the rest of the class? You're going to pick one of these 3 problems, which I've also attached to the assignment, right? So you're going to pick whether you're working on this problem, right? And you can use your calculator or Desmos, you're going to really need to. So there's problem choice 1, there's problem choice 2, and there's problem choice 3, right? So I'm okay with any of these 3, and I want to see how you solve them and how you explain how you solve them. And don't worry, you're just sending your video link to me. You're not sending it to anyone else. So you don't have to worry about how you're making your video explanations. And the easiest way is probably to write out a solution and use a recording of your screen like I'm doing. But if that is not something you can do, you can also use your phone. Just please remember that when you want to upload it to Moodle, you can't upload the video. Notice I'm never uploading the full video here. I'm using my YouTube channel, but I think almost all of you have Google Drives, right? So if you're in your Google Drive, you can just save the file, right? Hopefully you have a file. I have a file for Blue Tent, and I can save my video here and then only share the URL on the course page. All right, do your best. If you get stuck, ask me for help, and I'll help you work through the problem.